In this tutorial, I'll walk you through every step I use to create this coffee animation. Let's go. We'll start off by creating the plate. So press Shift A, mesh, and add a circle. Press Tab to go into edit mode. F to fill, and then E and extrude it up. And then E again, extrude up again, and then scale it up with S. And then E, extrude it up again. And then I to inset, and then G and Z and move it down. Press 2 to go into edge select or click on the icon here. And then hold Alt and select this loop. Hold Alt and Shift and select that loop and the one down here. And then press Ctrl B and bevel. And then use your scroll wheel to increase the bevels. Press 3 to go into face select or click the icon there. Select the top face, press I and add some loops. Press Tab to leave edit mode and then press Ctrl 2 to subdivide it and then right click Shade Auto Smooth. Then we'll create a cup. So press Shift A, add another circle. Press G and Z and move your cup up. And then press Tab to go into edit mode. We can go into third select and then press F to fill. And now we'll extrude and scale it up to create our cup. So here you can create any shape you want. So E to extrude and then scale it up. And then E to extrude and scale it up. And E to extrude and scale it up. And continue just like that. And then once you're done with your shape, press X and F to delete the top face. Press Tab to leave edit mode. Then go to your modifiers tab, add modifier, and add a solidify modifier. Then increase the thickness. I want a nice thick cup. So I'm gonna make it 0.35. And then while you hover over your modifier, you can press Ctrl A or the drop down here to apply your modifier. And then we'll press Ctrl 3 to add a subdivision modifier. And then right click Shade Auto Smooth. Then press 1 on your numpad or to go into front view, or for me to open the view menu, you can press the button right of your left shift and then go into front view. And I think I want to increase the height of my cup a tiny bit. So I'm just going to go into X-ray, G and Z, and then move that up a tiny bit. Yeah, I like that much more. Okay, so then Shift A, mesh, and then we'll add a torus. Then we go into the menu here, and then we'll decrease our radius a tiny bit. Maybe to 0.6. Yeah, something like that. Then press R, X 90, and then we'll press G, move it into position, tab to go into edit mode, and then scale it down with S, leave edit mode, and then we'll place it right there. Press Ctrl 2 to add a subdivision modifier, right click and shade smooth, and then we'll press period, and we'll change our pivot point to 3D cursor, select the handle, press R and Z, and we'll rotate it a tiny bit. There we go. Now we'll go back into front view and then press Shift A. We'll add a camera. Then press G and Y, move the camera back. G and Z, move the camera up. Then go into camera view with 0 on your numpad or through your view menu. And then press period to change your pivot point back to median point, and then R and X. And then we can aim our camera at our cup. And then if it's too close, like mine is at the moment, you can press G and Z twice. And then you can just place the camera like you want. And then in your output settings here, in the scene settings, you can change it to resolution to 1920 by 1920. And there, that looks pretty good. Maybe I'm going to zoom in a tiny bit more. There, I like that. Okay. Then we'll add a background. Press Shift A, mesh, and add a plane. Press Tab to go into edit mode. And then scale it all the way up. Go into edge select. Select the back edge. And press E. Select the back edge and then press E and Z to extrude it up. Then we'll go into camera view and then we'll select the back edge again. And then with Ctrl B, we'll bevel it and then increase the bevels with the mouse wheel and then leave it edit mode and shade auto smooth. Okay, then now for the fun part, we'll start adding our coffee simulation. So press Shift A and add a cube. Press GZ and 1 to move it up. Go into edit mode with tab, select face select, and then move the top face up. And then press A S and then Shift Z and scale up so it covers your coffee cup. And then we'll leave edit mode, and then we'll go to our physics tab and then press fluid. Type is going to be domain. Our domain type is going to be liquid. And then we'll scroll down and we'll activate mesh, and then type I'm going to change to all. And press Z, and then we'll toggle X-ray. Now we'll select our cup, go into our physics tab, press fluid, and then type is going to be effector. And then now we'll press Shift A, mesh, and we'll add a UV sphere. We'll scale that down, and then G and Z will move it up, and I'm scale it down a tiny bit more. Make sure it's outside of your camera view, and then GX, we'll press 1. And then in our physics tab, we'll go back and select fluid. Type is going to be flow. Flow type is going to be liquid. Flow behavior is inflow. And then initial velocity, we'll make that -1. Now we'll select our cube, and then once we scroll down in our physics tab, we can press bake all, and then we'll let it bake. And then we can see how our simulation looks and what we need to adjust. Our cup is probably going to be overflowing quite a lot, so we'll work on that. But here's an initial view of how it will look. And there, and then, yes, we can see it's overflowing, so we can stop there, and then we'll go back in our timeline. And then, of course, this is different for your cup, so you need to go back to in your timeline to where your cup starts overflowing. And then I think that if I would stop the flow here, my cup would fill up nicely at 75. So I'll select the UV sphere, and then we'll go back to 0. And then while hovering over use flow, press I, and then we'll go to 70, and then we'll press I again while hovering over use flow, and then go forward 1 frame, and then deactivate use flow, press I again. And then now we can go back to our domain, scroll down, free all, and then we'll rebake it. And then we'll go back to frame 0, and let's see what it looks like. There, that looks much nicer. Okay, go back to the start. Then I want to select my domain. I'm going to free all. And then I'm going to change my revolution divisions to 64. If your computer can't handle it, you can just leave it at 32 or to 40, whatever you prefer. And then I'm going to rebake it once more. If the coffee is escaping your cup at the bottom, you can try and change the thickness of your cup to prevent this. There, now let's see how that looks. There you can see there's much more detail in the coffee now. And that looks absolutely great. So I'm going to right click my coffee and shade it auto smooth. And then now we'll select the UV sphere, and then we can hide it from our viewport and from our render. Now we'll start working on the lights. So press Z and go into our rendered view. And we'll start adding some area lights. So we'll press period first and change our pivot point to 3D cursor. Shift A, go to light and select area. Press G and Z, and then we'll move up our area light. And then we'll press RX 30 minus to add a backlight. And then we'll go into our light settings and we'll change that to maybe 120. And then we'll change the shape to disk, and our size is going to be 2. Then we'll press Shift D, RZ 120, and then GZ, and we'll move this light back so it's a bit weaker. And then we'll select the first backlight again, press Shift D, RZ 120 minus, just like that. Press period, change your pivot point to median point. Then we'll select our backlight, and then we'll press Shift D and Y, move it back, RX, and rotate it towards our background. And then we'll go back into our camera view, and then we can aim this light at our background. So we'll have a nice lit up background. I think something like that. And then we'll increase the strength a tiny bit. Maybe even more. There, that looks nice. Okay, then we'll start adding our materials. So we'll start off with our background color. Select the background, go to the materials tab, add a new material. We'll call this one background, and it will have a base color of 8CB6AF. Then we'll select our plate, add a new material. We'll call it dark green. And our base color will be 247964. And then we'll change the roughness to 0.3. Then select your handle and then hold shift and press on your plate and then press Ctrl M, and then we want to link our materials. Then we'll change the cup. So select your cup, add a new material. We'll call it cup. Base color can be 2B927A. Don't be scared to use your own colors, of course. And we'll change our roughness to 0.3 as well. And then for the exciting part, we'll click on our coffee, add a new material. We'll name it coffee. Our base color is going to be 3F030E. Then we want to decrease our roughness to 0.01. And we'll change our IOR to 1.318. Our transmission is going to be 1. And then we'll scroll down some more. And then in settings, we want to change our blend mode to alpha hashed and the shadow mode as well. Just like that. Then we'll go to our world settings and we'll change the color of our world to BBD0DF. And then in our render settings, we'll go to color management and we'll change the look to medium high contrast. There we go. If you want to export your animation, go into your output settings, change the folder you want to save your animation to. File format is going to be FFmpeg video. And then the encoding, change the container to MPEG-4. And that should do it. Thank you for joining me in this tutorial. If you found any part of it unclear or you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment section below. If you decide to share your amazing artwork on Instagram, don't forget to tag me. I'd love to see your result. If you found this tutorial helpful, consider supporting the channel by subscribing and liking the video. And remember, practice makes perfect, so go ahead and experiment with the skills you've gained. Thank you for watching and good luck.